Hello everyone, this is Teacher Megan and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I will be discussing the minutes of the meeting as part of our discussion on business letter writing. This time, I am sharing with you my PowerPoint presentation. All right. To begin, let us have it defined, wherein when we say minutes, in my discussion, it's being pertained to the written record of what has transpired in a meeting, and I don't want you to be confused with something that's related to time or hour. Again, this in this discussion is about the written record of what has transpired in a meeting, and usually the minutes is being prepared by the secretary or the one who is assigned by the presider of the meeting. And to understand this topic more easier, we have to define agenda. And agenda is the plural of agendum. And this refers to the list of various matters to be discussed and decided during a meeting. Now, usually the presider of the meeting, before calling for that gathering, has already prepared the agenda or the list of matters to be talked about in that meeting. But the attendees before the meeting officially starts, they can actually add something to the agenda. That's why it's written here that an agendum or the agenda can be decided during a meeting. Now let's have the order of a business meeting. Now, what is the flow of the meeting? Of course, it starts with the call to order to be followed by the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting, and the reading is executed by the one who prepared it, and this is also to be approved by the body if, for example, they notice that there's something wrong with the minutes and that's not exactly what happened, then there should be a revision of that minutes. That's why it is necessary that the minutes is approved by the body before it's submitted or compiled. Also, after that is the reports to be followed by the group discussion. And under group discussion, there will be the discussion on the immediate problems, identification of the specific problems, eliciting suggestions or commitments to solve the problems, coordinating the different branch managers. So this one is in the setup of a company or a business firm, and the discussion and consultation on business profits and losses. Next to group discussion is the introduction of a new business plan. And lastly, of course, the closure or what we call the adjournment. Let us now discuss the parliamentary rules when it comes to the meeting. And first, we have the obtaining the floor. A person who wants to speak rises and addresses the presiding officer as Mr. Chairman or Mr. Moderator. um, it's up to you how you're going to address that person, and he should wait to be recognized by the chair before he continues to speak. No one's allowed, or it is unethical if you just raise your point right away without wait. I mean, even if you are not yet recognized by the one who presides the meeting. So that's why it's written here that you should wait first for you to be recognized before you continue speaking or before you raise your point. Such recognition when the chairman calls him by his name or title. Next is making motion. If one wishes to have a matter discussed by the group, he offers his proposal in the form of a motion or resolution. On addressing his chairman, the member says, I move that such action be taken. Maybe you are starting to think about the election of officers because this flow or these rules are also happening during the election of officers. After making a motion, what follows is the putting of that motion. And when a motion has been made, the chairman asks, is there a second? Or this is the time when you say, I second the motion, or the motion has been seconded. And if there's no second, he declares that the motion lost for a wait of a second. Number four is the discussion of the motion. After the motion has been moved and seconded, it will be discussed in front of the meeting or the attendees, and no subject will be discussed until it has been presented as a motion seconded and started by the chair. That's why it is necessary that we follow the correct process in attending the meeting, because if it's not followed, then it, it will not be discussed. When it has been discussed, the next step is the voting, wherein um, it's more of the getting the response or the opinion, the decision of the body. Point of order: if a member feels the parliamentary procedure has been violated, he says, I rise to the point of order. So this one, it only happens when there is like something that is not agreed, or when you feel like something's wrong with what happened. So you may raise a point of order, and it's up to the presider if that will be considered or not. Next is the business etiquette. The you attitude, which is a vital factor in all aspects of business life, should be treated equally. So that is about the etiquette in terms of business. Now, how is it done? Steps in the preparation of the minutes of the meeting. So this one is already the writing of the actual record, or the minutes. First, you have to include the name of the group, um, of the company. And second is you have to state the time, place, and date of the meeting. That's why it's the written record. It should be complete and has provided enough evidence and factual information about what exactly happened during that meeting. Next is the list of the subjects discussed in such a way that reader can find a single item without reading the whole report. So this is just an enumeration of like the summary or the subjects discussed. Next is the summary. Summarize the various discussions. Get the summary of the voluminous notes. Now, sometimes a meeting is more than an hour, and when we say minutes, it's not the entire or the complete record of every word uttered by the attendees, but this one is only the summary, factual summary, and it shouldn't be that detailed. Or what I mean is, it shouldn't be that long. It should be like very short only because it's a summary. It's so redundant. Next is record decisions made. So this is one of the most important part or the content of the minutes that, and if one needs to review what happened in that meeting, especially when that person is absent, um, this is one of the things that he or she is looking for. What are the decisions? Because sometimes the approval of something, it depends on the minutes. That's why it's very important. Next is, if a group is small, list the names of those in attendance. If, for example, the meeting is just attended by people less than 10, their names will be very important. However, if it's attended by more than, or I mean a lot of people, like in our Monday assembly general meeting every Monday, all the employees are attending, and therefore our names will no longer be indicated in that minutes of the meeting, but it will be written as a whole group, like the faculty, staff, etc. Seven is identify the chairman. In that minutes of the meeting, you should not forget to name who presided the meeting or who was in charge of that gathering. Number eight is identify yourself as the person preparing the minutes. So your name will be written at the latter part of the letter or the document as someone who prepared for the minutes. Next, number nine, and the last, is you have to check your rough draft carefully. And after everything is done well and you counter check the details, this is the time when you have to have a final version computerized and distributed with a cover memo giving the agenda, time, and place of the next meeting. Again, for the discussion of this topic, I used the reference book Propulsive Communication by the following authors written in here under Mutia Publishing House Incorporated. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching. And to my students who are watching this, wait for the activity for the topic. Thank you.